Good morning, Africa and the world. Today is Sunday, the 18th of September in the year 2022, and it is another time and another moment on our program, Sunday Morning with Emmanuel Mensah. It is your divine right to know the truth, to set yourself free. Today, I'm going to speak to you on a topic, the biblical statement, let what you say be simply yes or no, its true meaning and relevance to you. I repeat, the biblical statement, let what you say be simply yes or no, its true meaning and relevance to you. The Bible is a very wonderful book. It is written in such a way that it conveys high truths, but through the use of symbols, characters. And if I'm to explain it in the English language, we say it is written in figurative language. In the English language, we have what we call figurative language and literal language. So when someone writes something, or I can convey a message to you figuratively, in that instance, or in that case, I'm going to use a picture or something to present the information, expecting you to use that picture or symbol to get the meaning of what I'm presenting to you. That is you making references or inferring from the picture. So figurative language is simply using symbols and other things to present message to people, but with the expectation that the people will be able to decode the meaning behind these images or these symbols. And so when someone writes something figuratively, you're not supposed to read it and interpret it exactly as it's written, but you're supposed to reason by using the symbol to connect one dot to the other for you to get an understanding of what the person is putting across. And then we have what we call literal language. That means the way it is written, read it and understand it exactly as it is written. You don't have to think about that. All you have to do is to read it and take it exactly as it's written. And so most of the books we are reading, or that has been written, and most of the literature that we have are written literally, or they were written using the literal language. That means you are supposed to read it and understand it exactly as it is written. But the Bible is a metaphysical book, and the writers of the Bible, with the knowledge and understanding and the wisdom given to them by God, because it's an inspired book, knew beforehand that this book is going to live and cut across generation from generation to generation, and therefore to present a particular truth literally will not make meaning or sense to the later generation, especially generations that will come centuries after. And so the Bible was written using symbols, and that is what we call the Bible symbolism, to present the truth. And therefore, it is the responsibility of the reader to decode and to get to the true meaning of whatever that is put across. But aside that, the Bible is a book that, whichever way, if you take it literally or figuratively, you get understanding, you get something from it. But for you to get a deeper meaning, the real reasons why this truth has been written or this truth has been presented, then you must read it from the figurative perspective or using the figurative language. That is you decoding, going deep into whatever is presented, and then getting to know exactly what the writer was putting across. And so today we are looking at the Bible, and it is a very popular verse that was given by Jesus Christ. And so today our topic is taken from the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 37. And in this verse, Jesus Christ stated that let what you say be simply yes or no, Anything more than this comes from evil. And I repeat, it is from Matthew chapter 5, verse 37. And so we have heard, and most of us, we have read this statement. And the interpretation that we got from it, or that has been sold to us, is that the communication that we have with other people, that has to be yes or no. So if I ask you, do you have this? You should be firm and tell me yes. If I ask you, do you have this? You should be firm and tell me no. So that is how this verse has been interpreted by either ourselves or by our religious leaders. But today, I am going to explain to you this verse in a very higher dimension. And that is actually the main reason or the main meaning of this verse. We know that as human beings, it is naturally good for men and women to be frank with one another. And therefore, God doesn't need to write a book as to how we are to conduct ourselves, whether to say yes or no. And as a matter of fact, this principle, yes or no, cuts across all religions. And therefore, if it is seen from only the Christian religion, then it means some people have been left out. But even people who don't believe in religion, we all believe in this principle that you must be frank with people. If it is yes, say yes. If it is no, say no. So if we limit our understanding to this, then we are actually losing the greater meaning of this statement or the Bible. And so the Bible is a metaphysical book that's been written with the use of symbols, or what we call the Bible symbolisms. And it is our responsibility to decode these symbols and to get a meaning, to infer the meaning from whatever the pictures or symbols that have been used. And so today we are going to look at this statement as given by Jesus. Let what you say be simply yes or no in your communication. And so when we talk of communication, we communicate with human beings, but we are spiritual beings at the same time. And the first form of communication that we do is in our spiritual world. And when I say our spiritual world, I'm talking of your mental states. So in your mind, you communicate with yourself, and you communicate with your ideas, you communicate with your dreams. And so in your mental world or in your spiritual world, these are your people, your brothers, your sisters, your workers, whatever human beings that you have, your ideas, your dreams, and the thoughts that come into your mind represent these people in your mind. And it is here that your yes or no must be observed. And so in every human being's life, there has never been a time that a person has not had a dream or something that the person wants to pursue. As a matter of fact, some people will begin it, and at a point they leave it. Some people too will look at it and say, okay, I will try it another time. And so this is where the yes or no comes in. So in our communication with ourselves and with our spiritual brothers and sisters and family members, that is our ideas, dreams, and aspirations, we are supposed to establish a standard. And that is we taking the yes or no. And so in your life, you are supposed to affirm yes to any good thing and to deny no to any bad thing. And this is the this is the criteria that we are supposed to use in organizing our lives. And if we are able to organize our lives along this principle, then we will have it automatically reflecting even in our communication with our fellow human beings. Because you are a man or woman of principles who look at things from the highest point of view and say yes to the truth and say no to the falsehood. So let whatever you say be simply yes or no. It's not necessarily our communication with our fellow human beings, but it goes beyond that. And therefore, we are not supposed to limit ourselves to only that part, but we are supposed to go to the deeper part. And that is when the good, the juice, all the good things that we're supposed to derive from the Bible is. And so we all have dreams, and as I said, and this is where we're supposed to establish the standard, yes or no. And so we have men and women that have started something in your life. You might have started something. You had a dream, you had an idea, and you know that this is going to help you. This is going to help men and women everywhere. And therefore, you believe that this is what you want to do. And therefore, when you begin that, you are supposed to establish the standard that you are saying yes to your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, and say no to any other thing that comes to deny these goals and aspirations. And in that case, you establish a mental premise, and therefore you are walking by it. So whenever there is a challenge, you go by yes to your dreams, you go by yes to your goals. And then you say no to the difficulty, you say no to the temptation, you say no to anything that comes to take you off your dreams. In that case, you are like a driver who has his eyes fixed on the road. And therefore, you don't have the time to indulge yourself in any other thing. Any distraction, any obstructions is a temptation to put you into a bad state. Therefore, you ignore them. You say no to them, but you focus only on where you want to go. And so that is what Jesus Christ was putting. It's a complete business or business statement. Whatever thing that you will do in your life, whatever good thing that you are doing, take a stand and say yes to it. Don't quit. Don't leave it. As soon as you try it and you say, no, it is very difficult, and you leave it, then that means your yes is not yes to that dream, but you have actually deviated to the no. And so in our lives, there are more truths that we're supposed to deduce from the Bible. And today I am presenting this truth to you. In your life, whatever situation, any good thing that comes in your life, affirm to it as yes. And any bad thing, anything that takes you off your dream, anything that you know that it is not going to support your life and any other human being, all human beings around you, say no to it. And then focus your mind, regardless of the consequences that may come as a result of you saying no, go ahead and say no. And that is when you say you are a man of integrity. We say you are a man of principle who focus his mind on one thing and make sure that it is done and done properly to the satisfaction such that men and women rejoice to that thing, or use that thing and rejoice and praise and give you praise. That is the truth. So let your yes be yes. In your communication, simply let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Is about your own self. And when you practice this in your life, it becomes so easy even to practice it with your fellow human beings. In that case, you already have a mind that is established and is only focusing only the truth, only the good, only the principle, only the things that brings improvement in your life and all people around you. And so the question is, how resolute are you in the pursuance of your dreams, your goals and aspirations? How resolute are you? And even using the word resolution, we all know what we do during New Year time. Many men, almost every man or woman, we write our resolution, New Year resolutions, and by the end of January, all these resolutions are thrown into gutters. We don't even remember them. Yeah, so this mental attitude where we say yes to a particular thing and throw them away in the following day is what Jesus Christ was talking about, that in your communication with whatever resolution you are making, in your communication with whatever decision you've made about a particular thing that you want to achieve, do not say no to it. Say yes to it. And then say no to anything that comes to distract you, anything that comes to take you off that path, and stay on it. And when you do that, you avoid evil. Evil here simply means the discord that you create in your life. The discord that you create in your life. And so you will see that men and women that don't have this principle, don't have this understanding of this principle, they create discord in their life. If you try your dreams, if you try your goals, if you try something and you only say that thing is difficult and you quit, you leave it, then it means you've condemned yourself to a lower life, poverty, lack, and all the bad things that you in life that will come to you. But if you stand firm and say yes to the dream and embrace every difficulty, learn from them, and then go on to achieve that particular thing, then that you save yourself from any evil. So the evil that is used in this verse is about your own creation. It's about your own mental state. And so we are supposed to have only one mind. We are supposed to have only one mental attitude towards whatever thing that we take that we're going to do. And this is the mental attitude that every man or woman that has ever achieved had. This is the mental attitude. The yes or no. Yes to your dreams. Yes to whatever promise that you've made yourself. You think in your mind, you look at things and you affirm to yourself that this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. That is when you say yes to that particular idea. And your responsibility is to continually affirm yes to this particular idea, regardless of all the challenges, regardless of all the difficulties that comes on your way. And then when you go ahead that way, the universe will eventually, the universe will automatically reward you for your good work. And so we are supposed to analyze our lives. And we are supposed to use the Bible in every nook and corner of our life. It is not just being pious in front of men and telling them what they are supposed to hear. It's just not just being pious in front of men and women and just saying what they think is good they have to know now. But it is about your mental state, about everything that you do. Everything that you do. Any man or woman that look at things and say, oh, I want it, but I don't think I have the ability to do it. That man is saying no to something that he's supposed to affirm yes. And therefore you are denying your yes and therefore you are affirming the no. And you will bring the negative consequences in your life. You see, you are making false affirmation by affirming no. But you are not supposed to affirm no. You are supposed to affirm yes. And so, even as it becomes difficult, that is when you affirm, I know I can make it. I have the power and the ability to do it. God is with me. Therefore, I am going to do it to the end. And that is when you are saying yes to your dreams. You are saying yes to your goals. But the moment you begin to tell people, oh, the job I have taken upon myself, the idea or my dreams that I want to achieve is so difficult, because of racism, because of tribalism, because I don't have anyone in the government, because I don't want to have that. That means you are actually negating the yes that you're supposed to say. In that case, you are going to create a discord. You're going to create poverty, lack, and all sort of things all negative things in your life. And so this is the truth of life. Jesus Christ presented before men and women a universal truth that must be analyzed and understood from this perspective. You might have heard many of our great preachers preaching using this Bible, the biblical quotation or biblical verse. But this is not what you've been presented to. Today, I am presenting you the truth. I am not denying whatever any man has said, but I'm saying is that we have levels of understanding. We have degrees of understanding. If you go to the sea, there are people who only swim only at the surface. And therefore, whatever they see at the surface is what they know. But there are some too that go to the deep. And though they see what is in the deep, and they can give account on what is in the deep. And that is exactly what we do it. So we are supposed to look at the Bible from the deeper or the inner meaning. And as I've said, you are supposed to read the Bible figuratively. That means you inferring, you are deducing the meaning of the symbols that have been used. Your yes is affirmation. Your no is the denial. You affirm yes to your dreams. The moment you say no, you are denying your own dreams, your own goals, your own aspirations. And that means you will never be able to achieve it. That is the truth of life. And that is what Jesus Christ was putting across. That we have to be firm. We have to take a stand and establish a mental premise that whatever I have taken upon myself, I am going to stand by it regardless of any situation, regardless of any condition that may appear. And in that case, you are a man of principle. And so if you are enrolled in school and you are a student, you say no to any other things that will come to distract you from getting your higher grade, but you say yes to your books. You say yes to your studies, and therefore you go on to study and get a higher mark. That is it. If you are a farmer, you say yes to your crops. You say yes to your work, whatever you're doing, and busy your mind and do it. But you don't go about saying that, oh, the land is too difficult. I don't have this, I don't have this. If you do that, then you're going to harvest nothing. And therefore, you are already denying what you're supposed to be affirming. But let your yes be yes. Let your yes be yes. In your communication within your mental state, in your communication, that is you communicating with your ideas, we communicating with your own ideas, with your own dreams. Let your yes be yes. And that is simply continue to affirm whatever you've established in your mind and establish it until it becomes a reality in your life. So the world we live in is a mental state, and that is why the Bible actually teaches. The Bible teaches about our mental state. Whatever thought that you are entertaining, whatever thing that you are entertaining at a point, you are either saying no or yes to a particular dream or goal, whether you like it or not. And that is the communication that Jesus Christ is talking about. In your communication with your dreams, in your communication with your ideas, in your mind, there is no one to see that. So you cannot pretend. You are whatever that happens in your mind is the real you. You can pretend on the outer and begin to tell people things that you think they should know, so that you'll be popular, whatever. But what goes in your mind, what transpires in your mind is the real thing. So are you denying or you are affirming your own goals, your own dreams, your own aspirations? What is your mental state? What is your mental premise? It does not matter. Any man or woman that tries only easy things lives not to achieve anything. But any man or woman that tries the difficult ones lives to achieve greater and greater things. And these are the people that becomes the greater people in the world. If you are trying what all other men have already tried, then there is nothing for you to show that is your achievement. That is your achievement. If you have achieved all that other people have already achieved, you cannot be greater than them. But you have to try something bigger, something that no man has ever heard of, something that no man has ever tried, and say yes to that particular thing. Remain on that. Be resolute, be determined. And that is you affirming it in rain or shine, in difficulties or in happiness, until that thing becomes a reality. And that is when you have actually observed this principle. And so we are supposed to analyze our mental state. And these principles cut across all human beings, regardless of your religion, regardless of whatever you are doing. In every situation, there is always two options presented before you, either to deny or to affirm. And if you deny, you create your own evil. If you affirm, you create your own good. And that is you being resolute. That is you being steadfast and standing by your dreams, standing by your goals, standing by what you think is good for you, and go on to pursue it, but not what other people are telling you. That is the truth of life. That is the truth of life. Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. And as the Bible stated in the in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37, that let what you say be simply yes or no. Whatever you say, it's not what you say to people, but it's what you say to yourself, what you say to your dreams, what you communicate to your dreams and goals. Let it be yes. Yes, I know it is difficult. Yes, I know it is very painful, but I'm going to stand by it and do it and get the right results. And that is when you say your yes is your yes. And as I already stated, if we practice this in our daily life, in our businesses, in our careers, in every aspect of our lives, it becomes so easy that this idea principle even reflect in our communication, in our dealings with our fellow human beings. And as a matter of fact, your dreams and your goals and whatever you're doing is to be achieved in collaboration with other people. And so if you say yes to your dreams, people that also say yes, who share those your dreams, will come into your life that they will help you to achieve it. In that case, there is no one to deceive the other. You are all in sync. You are all in the same mind. And that is why we talk of the law of attraction. The law of attraction will bring all these people into your fold, such that you all say yes. You all say yes. No one say no. As a matter of fact, people who have worked in businesses, people who have worked in big-time projects, that is when you see this principle. And most of the time, a few people come in and say, no, this because of that and that and that, we cannot accomplish this project. But the manager or the leader or one person in the team will say, no, I know that this difficulty, we can break through it. Therefore, let us pursue, let us continue, let us persist. Let us persist. Do not let us leave. And that person goes on to take on the leadership and move the team to another level such that they will get a breakthrough and show to the world that this is what we have achieved. And that is why Jesus Christ was saying, let your yes be yes. Say yes to your dreams. Say yes and take only one stand. All other things should be no. All other things should be no. All other things should be no. When someone comes to you and tell you that, oh, you've been doing this, your project, for this number of years, can you show us any result? Say no to that person. If someone comes to you and say that, oh, give us a break. You've been doing this thing over and over and over, and look at how you are becoming richer. Say no to the person. But if someone comes and tell you that, oh, I share in your dream and I believe that you can do it, say yes to that. And that is how you affirm. That is how you affirm every day. You affirm every day upon your dreams, upon your goals, upon your aspirations, upon your life in the positive way. And then you move yourself in the right direction. And so let us begin to review our life. Let us begin to reassess our way, the way we conduct our lives. And let us act. Let us conduct our life in alignment with this principle, that our life is simply affirmations and denial. Your life is simply affirmation and denial. So when anything comes that denies your existence, denies your dream, denies what you are doing, negate it. But affirm what you're doing, that it is possible. And you are the right person. You are the right person to do it. And that is why that idea has come to you. And that is the way we can achieve. That is where we can move forward. And so this message is for all men and women. But as I've already been saying, my focus is on my fellow Africans. And this is one of the areas that we lack. We cannot take a stand. We cannot take a stand and establish in our mind that this is what we want. And therefore, we're going to stand on it until we achieve it. But we go on to listen to other people. We go on to listen to other people, and we allow them to drag us from whatever we want to achieve. And that is what we've been doing all the time. We believe in what other people are saying. We believe in what we say, the think tanks. Those who we believe are the great thinkers can think and say to us. And therefore, we live what we believe within ourselves. That is the truth of life. And this is the time that we have to become awakened to this. The Bible tells us, the Bible calls on us to let our yes be yes and let our no be no. Our no is to deny anything that comes to take us off whatever we want to achieve. And then our yes is to affirm what we want to achieve in our life, even though it appears impossible. That is the truth of life. So if you take Africa, for instance, we are looking for a lot of things. We are facing difficulties, challenges. But the moment you talk of anything that let us think of how we can create a men and women rise up, no, this is not possible. Because of the Bretton Woods institution, because of what the West is doing, because of what the advanced world is doing. So we are every day negating our own good. We do not have a stand. We do not have a focus. We don't have a direction where we are going. And therefore, anyone who comes up to say something, particularly that is against or the people that we think are those who are derailing our progress, we hook on or we jump onto it, and therefore we follow that direction. And then today, when we realize that that person is not working, another one comes, then we jump onto that. So these are people who are saying no, 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 no. But it's supposed to be yes. We are human beings living in the millennium age. And this is the time the African, we should know what we want. What do we want? And as soon as we establish what we want in our life, the kind of life we want, it is our own responsibility to think and create this life in our mind and continually affirm yes, 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 yes to that life until it becomes a reality. And that is when we are applying this principle. So when it comes that way, anyone who comes to tell you that it is the Bretton Woods institutions that are putting us into this, you say no to that, but you busy your mind with what we are creating for ourselves. We are human beings. We have minds just like all other people. That is the truth. As a matter of fact, I received a video, and that video actually prompted me to make this recording. And someone was talking about how the Bretton Woods institutions are the most evil institutions in the world, how they are crippling Africa, while we are doing this and that and that. And someone actually asked a question about why the Africans' debt cripples that, but the American debt is not crippling them. The man gave a very lengthy explanation, which I do not disagree with him. But as a matter of fact, we do not live by sight, but we live by faith. And therefore, if we continue to live in our minds, one of the reasons that the man actually, one of the reasons that the man gave was that African leaders fear that if we take a certain route, they will be assassinated. There will be that and that and that. And therefore, the Western world have made us the producers of their raw materials, but not we being able to produce what we can consume. And therefore, they have to feed us. But for me, when I listened to that video, I said, well, this may be true, but as a matter of fact, the life of every group of people is created by their own thinking and by their own actions. My belief is that until the African individual is empowered in his or her mind and to know that he is supposed to affirm yes into his life, take what he wants and affirm unto it, we will not come out of it. No CIA or any institution in the West will come and assassinate all Africans, especially the local farmers who are working seriously, improving upon their level of productivity, improving upon their processes, improving upon whatever they're doing, such that there is efficiency, there is higher productivity. No one will come and assassinate Africans with it. But we are so preoccupied with a certain level that the people will come and assassinate our leaders. No, the leaders cannot save us. It is our own self that we can save ourselves. And that is the ordinary man becoming conscious with the fact that he is the creator of his own life. And therefore, he's supposed to affirm yes, 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 yes to whatever he wants to create for himself. It is only when the African individual, men and women, are able to look at whatever they want and create it in their mind and dwell upon it, affirm yes unto it, until it becomes a reality that we can actually liberate ourselves. That is it. No one can liberate us from any situation. No one can liberate Africans from this, whatever the web that we find ourselves in. But we have to liberate ourselves. But the liberation must come from the ordinary men and women. And that is why we have to preoccupy ourselves with educating and empowering the young men, the men and women of our nation, such that a man or woman of nowhere will get up and produce something that will improve the agriculture sector in Africa. A man or woman, a young man from nowhere will create something that will bring improvement in our fisheries. Then that productivity, efficiency will come and the productivity will be high. We'll have more than enough. Then that we can say that we are feeding ourselves and we have even excess that we can export. But what we're doing, we are every day denying, because someone comes to stand there and speak in our favor Plus all these organizations, we think the person is coming to save us, and therefore we keep on denying our own visions, our own goals, and accepting whatever the person is saying. And so we say no to what we are supposed to be doing, and we say yes to the falsehood. That is the card. But the Bible says that let your yes in all communication, let your communication be simply yes or no. What do I want? What do we want? You as an African, all of us put together, what do we want? Let us create, let us establish what we want and believe that we have the power and the capability to create what we want. And therefore, we are going to create it without asking for any help from anyone, but mobilizing our own resources within and creating whatever we want and go on to create it. And when we create it, no one will come to assassinate all Africans. No one will come to assassinate all Africans, but we will have something to show to the world that this is what we have done. My brothers and sisters, my fellow Africans, this is the time that we have to be enlightened. This is the time that we have to use our mind wisely. There will always be people who will always try to take advantage of every situation. If the morality that that man and all other people, especially the Africans, are thinking of really exists, then we are no more human beings. We are no more human beings. So long as we are human beings, there is always something to develop. And the negative, those bad aspects is to spur us on to rise up, to get a solution and liberate ourselves. Therefore, in all situations, let what you say be simply yes or no. It's about you. What goes on in your mind and your dreams. It's about all of us Africans. What is our desire? What are our goals? What do we want to achieve? And so when an African leader, when African government, when African men and women group themselves together, then they hatch an idea. They are not supposed to go and seek help from somewhere, but they're supposed to continue to affirm to themselves, believing, using their mind at the highest level, believing that this idea is to become a reality, that idea will become a world idea. That is what we're supposed to be doing. And we are supposed to affirm only yes. If any man or woman in the world, even from heaven, comes to tell us that what we are doing is not what we are supposed to be doing, we say no to it. That is when we say no. That is when your no is no. And then we busy our mind. We say yes to what we are creating. So long as we are preoccupied, so long as we are busy our mind believing that some people are those who have put us in a bucket, who have put us in a barrel that they have to free us, so shall our life be. But when we take on this mental attitude that we are men and women born and created in the image and the likeness of God, therefore we have the power and the capability, the right to liberate ourselves, to move ourselves forward, then that we begin to think. We begin to say yes to our ideas. We begin to say yes to what we are dreaming of. Then we stay on. We will go through difficulties. We will go through challenges. We will go through pain. Yes, but it is good to suffer temporarily and to liberate yourself and the future generation. That is what we're supposed to be doing. All these academic lectures, all these kind of things that are going on everywhere, and people are so preoccupied, attacking other nations. No, yes, all these things are in existence. I'm not denying it, but there is a way. And the way is to apply the truth. And that is we creating what we want and continually affirming it until it becomes a reality. And as a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, and I know it is a universal truth, it is only animals. It is only animals that when they are trapped in a certain situation, they are not able to use their mind to liberate themselves. But as far as we are human beings, and we have minds, any condition that comes our way, that gives us the freedom to move and live, freedom to move and to be able to use all our parts, then we should be able to think and liberate ourselves. Whatever the Bretton Woods institutions are doing, whatever all other institutions or the developed worlds are doing, they haven't taken our minds. They haven't taken our minds from us. They haven't taken our legs from us. They haven't taken anything. It is signs that we are running after them for their help. And if we cut ourselves from their help and busy our mind and continue affirming what we want to achieve in our life, saying yes to what we want to achieve, saying yes to what we want to be, then we will go on to achieve. But unfortunately, the African doesn't want to do the job. The African doesn't want to go through pain. The African doesn't want to go through some temporal suffering to liberate himself. Therefore, we are always looking for reliefs. It is our lust in the relief from the Western world has sold us into this slavery, and no one can take us out of it except we taking ourselves from it, and that is we pegging ourselves off our lust. That is the truth of life. That is the truth of life. So let us rise up. Let us rise up. Let us begin to create our realities and say yes to these mental pictures. We create these mental pictures in our mind. We use our imaginations to create it and go on to achieve. But as a matter of fact, it is not even the work of our leaders to do this. The work of our leaders are supposed to, motivate people. But if they are not in that capacity to do it, then we have to rise up from within. The ordinary men must be empowered such that they are able to put their hands on their chest and say that, I know I am the right person to do this. I am the man or woman elected by God to do this. Then he busy him or herself until he achieve a particular thing. Agriculture in Africa is still at a subsistence level. Fishery and all this is at a subsistence level. We cannot, based on this, we can never produce any meaningful we can never have any meaningful productivity to feed ourselves. So long as we are not looking at how to improve on our own processes, our own things, and make them efficient, we will remain slaves. And when it comes that way, we are denying, we are saying no to our dreams. We are saying no to our aspiration. We are saying no to our own lives. And that is what Jesus Christ is warning us, that we should let our yes be yes. Let us continue to affirm. Let us continually affirm yes into our life individually. You, the African man, you, the European, wherever you are, this principle is applicable to all of us. But today we are talking about Africans because I'm an African. And my call to you, the truth, the universal truth is that continue to affirm only to your dreams, only to your goals. And anything that comes to take you off your dreams, say no to it. And that is when we say, our no is our no. Our yes is our yes. And when we do this, we will drag ourselves from every negative thing, every painful situation that we are going through. And that is when we say, finally, we have liberated ourselves. We are independent men and women with minds that we have liberated ourselves. The only thing that can save us is the mental resolution of the African men and women. One thing that is killing African is corruption. And any man that has not got that mental state, that mental premises to say no to anything, is a corrupt person. And as a matter of fact, I have asked this question all the time. There is no any man or woman in Africa that is free from corruption, because the giver and the receiver are the same. The giver and the receiver are the same. If you go to our airport, if you go to all these places, we have even high-class people who are indulging all these things. So if those of us living here, you go to Africa and they ask you and you bribe them to get your way through, you are also corrupt, because it takes two to tango. But this is the time that we have to take a stand and say yes to only the good. We want a corrupt, free society. And therefore, it is only when the giver ceases to give, the receiver has no power. But you must be ready to face the consequences for you not giving. So as a matter of fact, when we talk of corruption, it is not the receiver, it is the giver. Those who are giving are the most corrupt people, because without supply, there is no, without supply, demand dies off. Without supply, demand dies off. That is the truth of life. Anyway, that is my message for you today. Jesus Christ has given us a very fundamental or universal principle that is supposed to be applied in every nook and corner of our lives. And that is we saying yes to only what is good, what comes to empower us, what comes to support our dreams, what comes to support our goals. And so we no to anything that comes to take us off. And that is when we say we are indeed Men and women who are thriving, moving in the right direction, creating and recreating their life in a positive and a wonderful and a great way. So let us rise up. Wherever you are, whoever you are, rise up and establish a mental premises regarding your dreams, your goals and aspirations. God has placed something on your heart. This is the time that you have to take a stand and say yes to it, and say no to anything that comes to contradict that thing. The pain and the suffering, all the challenges that you go through, look at them and embrace them and work with them. And you will eventually emerge as a victor, a man or woman who has come to live, not just to pass through the life, but has come to live and live well and affected the life of many and many and many and many across the world. That is when Africa will rise to be among the greats. That is my message for you. Let our yes be yes, and let our no be no. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keep the stars in the open, such that they do not fall on us, that keep the planets in their orbit, such that they do not clash with one another, lead and guide you, inspire you, touch your heart, give you an open mind and a receptive heart, such that this message will push you for you to begin to walk along this line, such that in your mental, in your mind, in your mental state, you will only affirm only what is good, only what comes to support your good and all men around you, and saying no to any other thing that does not support it. And that's when we say our yes is yes and our no is no. That is the truth of life. Once again, my name is Emmanuel Kwejo-Mensah, and I am a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality. I am a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group. At Eagle Mentality Group, we teach and propagate information about the power of the subconscious mind and universal laws and principles that men and women knew that they've used to develop their lives. And this is the time that we have to rise up. It is our dream and determination to raise a new crop of Africans who will think and do things in alignment with the laws of the universe, and the laws of the universe, such that we will create an Africa that men and women stand and say yes to our dreams, and say yes to our aspirations, yes to our ideals, and we pursue them till we get the end result, and say no to any other thing, any outer interferences, in such a way that we will walk in one direction and achieve what is on our heart. That is our dream. It is our dream that we will raise a new group of Africans that will be the bedrock of the new Africa. As it thinks, Africa is inhabited by only black men and women, black people. This is the time that we have to rise up to create a new Africa, a new continent, such that our good, our ideas, everything becomes attractive to all men and women from all parts of the world to come and taste the goodness of our African continent and the works of the African people. That is when we say, yes, Africa is now a symbol of diversity. Africa is now a multiracial continent. We are soaring and moving at the same level with all other people and showing the glory of God, which is diversity. Thank you, and God bless you.